Sir, that is correct. We do have donations open. Just be sure to check that link posted in the Speed Gaming chat for Linktree to get to the donation page and vote for those incentives. But we'll go ahead and get ready to start. So I will have to reset my character first, just so that we don't have any prior level ups on Goku. This will be an any percent Goku Breakthrough Capsule only run. So what the Breakthrough Capsule does is it basically allows you to have all abilities unlocked for the story mode. So I'll go ahead and get started, and I will count you down, our wonderful host Nylan. On go, we can start the timer. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go.
Alrighty, so Budokai 3, take it away, Nugs.
Yeah, so the difference in this game, why the any percent run is different. This game actually has quite a different number of categories. So what any percent means is that you reset your character, because if you kept any prior levels before, it would turn into a new game plus run, meaning that you are aware that you have finished this game, keeping the levels to go through to have just added attack, added health, added ki blasts, and all of that. The cool thing about this game in particular is each individual character is broken up for their kind of storyline throughout the Dragon Ball series. So Goku, in this case, has his own story mode where it's just going to follow specifically Goku. We're only going to be playing as Goku going through. So for the start here, we're starting in the Saiyan Saga fighting Raditz, and each character has their own. So Vegeta has their own, Piccolo has their own, and we'll go through the whole remainder of the Budokai series. So for this fight in particular, with Breakthrough, Glitch said it earlier, we can use any skills. So it's always really important that we get that Super Saiyan 4 damage. I believe that's a 35% attack boost.
It's quite high, yeah.
And so because of that, we want to make sure we do a couple combos to make sure we get, I think it's about 6 ki bars or 5. I believe 5 ki bars. So once you transform, you get that 35% boost, and then start rolling through with some of those combo cancels to really just start doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, so in this game, there is a mechanic called guard canceling. Basically, if you cancel a chargeable attack, so let's say a charge kick or a charge punch, by pressing the guard button, you immediately end that animation and you can chain it into a new attack. So we make use of that quite a lot in this run, due to the fact that hit stun is very good in this game. Once you hit an enemy and put them in hit stun, you can pretty much carry them through their combos so long as they don't break out with a teleport. On the difficulty that we play on very easy, so typically enemies don't guard as much, they don't teleport out of combos as much. So once we land our first hit, we can really start doing damage. So I use this combo here, utilizing kick, 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 and then forward punch kick to get full ki. Once I have full ki, I will transform into Super Saiyan 4 for that massive damage boost. And I will try to get him to about a red bar of damage before I do Super Dragon Fist and chase him with ki chases. So that will end the fight quite quickly if I can pull it off correctly.
Yeah, and Budokai 3 is a very, very technical game. The fighting game community, before Fighter Z and all these stuff like Guilty Gear, Budokai 3 was actually very, very popular. Even today, the fighting game community plays this game a lot. The tech in this game is so important because, like what Glitch said, is this game in particular, compared to the rest of the Budokais, has a teleport mechanic, meaning that if you're getting destroyed too hard or you feel like you can't get your bearings, when someone is attacking you or about to attack you, you can use 2 of your own ki bars to teleport behind them to be able to counterattack, giving you enough space to get some attacks in so you don't get perfected every time.
Yes, and you can also use the same amount of ki, basically, to chase down enemies after you've knocked them in the air. And it does quite a bit of damage. Each health bar represents 1,000 damage. You will see the damage numbers on the left side of the screen when I'm attacking. Each health bar is 1,000. So we need to deplete as many health bars as we can, as quickly as we can. So what we're going to be trying to do is getting to Super Saiyan 4 as quickly as possible and trying to avoid any extra usage of ki. Vegeta's giving me a hard time right now, but he's about to get the nicest Kamehameha he's ever seen, bro.
Nice fight. So in this game, you'll probably notice that after each combo cancel, meaning that every time that Glitch is using a charge move and getting rid of it, he does this weird looking back flying move and then immediately coming back in for another combo. Amongst the FGC and the speedrunning community, we call an RBD, also which stands for revert backdash, meaning that as soon as he cancels that first combo, he's going to slide himself backwards and up and immediately dashing back in towards the enemy. And the reason why we do that is that buffer, the game considers it another input. So the fact that he moves backwards and forward again, the game thinks he's actually continuing a second combo. So he's actually able to repeat combos more than once and being able to chain one extra one to get more ki and then able to transform to get more damage and really just shred through all that health.
Exactly. And yeah, another thing is with the reverted backdash, when you do combos on the ground in this game, if you do 2 combos that start with the same type of attack, so a regular punch, a regular kick, forward punch, forward kick, if you do 2 combos with the same combo starter in a row, it will knock the enemy over. We don't want to knock them over because we want to keep them stunned for as long as possible, so we can build our ki and do what we have to do. Oh, Raccoon! Chill, buddy. We're just hanging out. We're having a good time.
Yeah, and that RBD tech actually goes so many more layers deep, especially with the big combo heads in this game, where we will actually use a revert back dash and dash in, but not quite far enough for the first hit to connect. Because when the game sees that you're repeating combos, if you miss the first hit of your combo but connect with the second one, they will actually not fall because it thinks you're using a whole different move than before. So instead of chaining maybe 4 combos without someone falling, now you can chain up to 6 and do so much more damage. And it's very, very in-depth, very hard to pull off. But the top runners, just like Glitchedd here and even some other runners like Toa Akeyashi and Moro Sonero know about these kind of techs that have really grinded this game down to the strats that we kind of use today, especially for breakthrough, which is somewhat more of a newer category that one of the mods has tried to implement, just to bring more runners in and really just to have more fun with the runs, of just having different styles of the game that people can want to use in the runs.
Yeah, the combo that I'm using is not necessarily the most optimal combo. If you watch runners like we mentioned before, like Toa Akeyashi, who is a very good player of this game, he unfortunately couldn't make it to the marathon, but hopefully we can get him another time. They make use of some insane combos that look very flashy and are also very effective. So this game is very unique in that it lets you kind of show off a lot of your personality with the way that you play. The combos I decide to use are typically the easier combos. I prefer the sort of consistency that you get doing easier combos versus the harder tricks. But yeah, people can make their characters really shine in this game just with custom combos with all the different mechanics involved.
Yeah, and there's actually been a lot of debate between some of the top runners on which combos are actually the most optimal. For a while, the SDF loop was considered way too slow and not quite as much damage as you'd think. But what runners had figured out was that when you could RBD and chain in one combo in between to reset that damage, you could actually throw them into a loop, which could actually speed up some of the fights in some cases, just depending on their health. So this game, and especially this route, actually does have a little bit of wiggle room, just depending on how much ki you have versus how much ki the opponent has, and then even how much health they have. You have to make those split-second decisions of, okay, I see that this person's health is a little bit lower. I don't need to worry about damage resetting, meaning that the counter in the top left for those hits, I don't need to worry about it resetting back to 0 so I can get the maximum amount of damage in. I can just continue going. Or if they see, hey, you know what, I've already got these hits so much higher, I now need to use a Super Dragon Fist loop, because that one in itself doesn't even worry about the rules of the damage resets, especially the ending with the chase. Those chases have no particular affinity to what the damage reset would actually have. So even though you're using technically infinite combos in this game, if you're chasing or using the supers, you're actually getting all that damage right back.
Exactly. And another thing I haven't really talked about yet, there's also this kind of create your character feature in the Dragon World for this game, the story mode. After each fight, you gain a bit of experience points that you can choose to invest in different stats. For the speedrun, we decide to invest solely in attack because the rest of the bonuses we get from the other stats aren't really as worth it as the raw damage we get from the attacks building up into our key blasts and everything. So we typically go full attack throughout the entire run.
Yep, and you probably noticed too on that map where, because this is a any percent breakthrough, and we have restarted our character with Goku just so we could use the capsules that we want. There was a couple different story points in this game. And the way this story progresses is that you kind of get to choose, you know, in this free flying world of where you want to go. So Glitch specifically chose the one that was farther away in that bottom corner because now we get to instantly go to Frieza towards the end of this world and end it. With the other ones, it kind of gives you like a choice of who you fight. I think one is Cooler, which can end up being Metal Cooler even later, and the other one is actually Vegeta as Super Saiyan. So kind of those cool little what if scenarios and letting you kind of just control the way you want this run to go. There has been a lot of back and forth on whether or not it's faster or shorter. But for the most part, we've kind of determined that Frieza is really just the best route to go because Frieza is actually on the easiest ranking difficulty between the three fights, whereas if you go to Cooler or Vegeta, they're actually going to try to retaliate more, going to guard more, and even try to chase you if they do a combo. They won't just do 2 hits and let you attack back. No, they're actually going to finish their combo and even waste a couple ki just to chase you. So there's going to be a couple of those points where there's going to kind of be a split in the road. But since Glitch is familiar with this, he knows to go to the specific ones to either shorten fights or have easier fights.
Yeah, and we are honestly about halfway through the run at this point. We're basically entering Cell Saga and Goku's story. So, honestly, the androids like 19 and 20 are not in this game, unfortunately. So, Goku's Android Cell Saga is quite short in his run. We honestly just fight Cell and then already move on to Buu Saga. But Buu Saga has its fair share of fights. You'll also get some Vegito action. Quite far into the run at this point, but yeah, we're basically utilizing the same combos at this point, trying to get my back dashes, but it can be dangerous if you miss. This game also has another feature where if you mash out guard while characters are attacking, you'll kind of sidestep attacks and not get hit. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, we've kind of drawn up this sort of arbitrary number in the speedrunning community that if you learn how to combo cancel, you're in the 1% of all FGC players for Budokai, since combo cancels aren't actually taught to you in this game. The only way you would know about it is if you fought either very hard Z, Z2, or Z3 difficulties, which are just the hardest difficulties in the game, where your opponent will actually use guard cancels and kind of mimic the way it is. And even the 1% of the 1% are those who can use the RBDs. So you would see the top ranking FGC and speedrunners here that would frequently drop reverted backdashes. And the reason because is the window of that move is so tight because you only have a couple frames to move backwards. And then after that, it's almost frame perfect to move back in before the stun is actually finishing up. So one of the higher level techs in this game where that's kind of where you can get to that difference in where your run is going to be, where if you're sort of a newer player, you might just go for the easy combos to get behind and maybe finish with a dash kick to launch him in the air and then end up chasing to get some extra damage. Whereas the more advanced players are going to say, you know what, I'm going to use 2 RBDs and finish this. Since I have some ki left, I'm going to do a Super Dragon Fist to get some extra damage and blast them away, and then continue with the combos after that.
Yeah, you have tons of options available for how to make these fights fast, and honestly, each of those options explained there are quite fast themselves. So Yeah, there's a lot of unique ways to play the game, but we are definitely sticking to the bread and butter just for the marathon safety, you know? We don't want to drop any spaghetti from our pockets during the marathon, so we are going to keep doing our bread and butter combos and knocking these boys out in record time.
Yeah, and we talked about it before if we were just going to do normal capsules, no capsules, or breakthrough, but we both decided, let's just do a breakthrough. It's a newer category, and who doesn't love SSJ4 Goku?
Yeah, man.
The non-canon Super Saiyan, in my personal opinion, my favorite Super Saiyan form. I have to tell you, it's so godlike, and I've explained it earlier. I am not a fan of Vegeta as a character, but I must say, even seeing him as Super Saiyan 4, I think is very, very impressive and really cool design.
Yeah, Super Saiyan 4 is awesome. You really don't get to see as much of it, especially not these days with Dragon Ball Super kind of replacing GT as the canon. Super Saiyan 4 is kind of a left-behind design, but it's awesome, man. The red fur, the hybrid Ozaru drip, man.
Oh, yes.
Doesn't get any better than that. So we had to show off Breakthrough today. This is one of the few, like, actually competitively viable and technical Dragon Ball games that actually features GT content, so it's pretty cool to have here.
Yep. And just to explain it earlier, Glitch touched about it a little bit, where after each fight, since this is sort of an RPG style of Budokai, where you kind of get to level up your character. For this entire run, we are only using attack, and the reason why we do that is each attack point, as I believe, is around 2% or 5%. So each progressive point that you're doing is just growing substantially, and especially with Super Saiyan 4, you just start shredding through health like that. Like, we barely even got into that Majin Buu fight, and 10 seconds later, he's already out for the count.
Yeah, Super Saiyan 4 is extremely powerful, so honestly, it takes a little bit of time to transform in this game, probably about 3 seconds on the PS2 versus the HD version, but that 3 seconds is saved way harder through the Super Saiyan 4 buff, so it's definitely worth it to get that transformation off in most cases.
Yep. And since now we've defeated Majin Buu, there's only a few fights left. This is actually the last fork in the road where you can kind of choose the ending you want. So after this fight, you can actually choose, if you have played this game for a second or third playthrough, you can actually choose the break in your run, where if you want to just fight Super Buu, Buhan, and Kid Buu in the normal fashion, or if you want to break off into these kind of what-ifs, non-canon scenarios where you can fight Broly, you can fight Oob, and you can even fight Gotenks in a world tournament, actually using Gogeta. So getting to see different transforms, different characters that aren't canon necessarily to the Dragon Ball story here.
Yeah, we are now Vegito, so Vegito has a very, very powerful Ki Blast attack that we're going to make use of to pretty much melt Super Buu here. We have to time it quite precisely right when he stands up to take advantage of his animation here, but that was perfect, literally perfect.
Yep.
So yeah, as soon as he gets up from the first Ki Blast, we shoot another one. These Ki Blasts do about 1,400 damage. Once again, each health bar is 1,000 damage. So pumping out 1,400 damage extremely fast is very good.
Yeah, that fight, I believe the fastest timed for that was like some around 4.5, 5 seconds, extremely fast.
Yeah.
And there's really been two strategies to try to get that as fast as possible. The safer strat is to kind of let Buhan kind of dash in a little bit and then launch it, since they have no room to move. But Glitchedd actually took the riskier strat, which actually really paid off, where right as they stand up, kind of waiting for the iframes to disappear. So there actually is not enough time for Super Buu to actually react to try to dodge or use another attack to hit immediately after that. So really, really good execution there.
Yeah, and this is a fight where we are inside of Super Buu. So if you haven't been able to tell already, our health is draining just as an effect of being in Super Buu here. But it also drains health from him. So this benefits us in that it makes the fight a little bit faster by taking health down as we are doing damage ourselves. But we are nearing time. I do believe we have one fight left. Is that right, Nugs?
Yeah, we'll have one fight left, which will be Kid Buu, sort of the gauntlet for the rest of this fight. As you have Super Buu, when you really want to get those atomic blasts out to really just shred through that health. Also surviving that super boo when you're using just normal capsules. Usually you have 2 extra health draining cap skills. So you actually have 3 times the health drain and just base health. So actually really easy to die. And now in the last fight here with Kid Buu, who's actually very, very challenging, where this difficulty is actually really going to ramp up. But luckily, we've had so many victories and so many level ups throughout this with the stacked attack that we're just going to be shredding through this health for the rest of the run.
Yeah, Kid Buu has a lot of HP, and he's kind of a little wild. He's pretty powerful, but we shouldn't have a problem just based on our stat build-up throughout the run here.
Yeah, and this run specifically, in terms of this game, Kid Buu has been deemed as one of the top 3 best competitive players to use, mostly because of his size and speed. If you are too close, even with Goku, you can clip the top of Kid Buu's head, where you won't even be able to attack. And Kid Buu's attacks are actually so quick that you can't always beat it.
And that is the run time. GG's. That was quite a good run. Not
that was a really good
run. Pretty solid. Sub 20 is a nice time to get for this category. It's not the best. I had a lot of hiccups. I had a lot of knockdowns from the characters, but to be honest, I will take that, especially for an impromptu run. Not bad at all. But yeah, this is Budokai 3. Pretty great series, especially for speedrunning. This is a very accessible and easy game to run. Due to the fact that the hit stun is so good, you really just have to get your combo chains down, and once you have those down, you can start running this game very easily. So yeah, if you're interested in running this game, join the Anime Speedruns Discord. We'll probably post it somewhere in chat sometime soon. But yeah, we have me, McNuggets, Toa, pretty much anyone you could ever look to for advice or help learning Budokai games or just Dragon Ball games in general. Our Discord has that for sure. But do you have anything you wanted to say, Nuggets?
Yeah, I was just going to say, especially with this game, with the characters being split up, it's really easy to kind of just choose where you want your bread and butter to be. There's a lot of runners who are like, you know, I'm just really, really cracked with Teen Gohan, and that's all I'm going to use. And that's only what is it, like a 6-7 minute run. So it's really quick to get out attempts and really quick to kind of just learn how to play the game instead of having to kind of sit through everyone's character. You kind of get to just choose and jump right in. And just the amount of resources that are out there for this game, especially for Budokai 3, has just been really good, like you said in the Discord.
Yep, I see the timer, is still going, but yeah, we hit time a little bit ago. This was like a 19 minute and some change, but yeah, exactly. That's a great thing about Budokai 3 is that the leaderboard is separated by full game story mode and also individual characters. So yeah, just like Nuggets was saying, if you just really want to represent your favorite Dragon Ball fighter, if you're a Cell fan, if you're a Gohan fan, whatever it may be, whatever characters have a Dragon World story mode, even Broly has his own story, you can do individual runs of just those stories. So they're quick, so most of the time like 5 to 10 minute runs. Very easy to pump out, very easy to learn. So I definitely suggest anyone who thought that was cool, give it a try. You will never know how good you are until you try. You could be the next Budokai legend, man. You really don't know. But yeah, that's basically it for me. I also just want to thank everyone for watching and for tuning in to the Anime Speedruns Festival Marathon. It's been a great time. You guys have been awesome. World Central Kitchen is a great cause, and thank you to everyone who's been donating to that as well. Once again, we'll have a little intermission here where we kind of talk about our donations and our incentives again. But yeah, it's been great hosting the event for a great charity, and it's been awesome. But yeah, that's basically it for me. Anything else you wanted to add at the end there, Nugs?
No, I think you covered it all. Just make sure you keep getting those donations rolling in. Since we hit that 600 mark, I really want to see that keep skyrocketing. It's been awesome seeing all these donations come in and seeing you guys get to kind of choose the way that this marathon's going to play out. And all those donation links are in that link tree that's been going throughout this chat throughout the entire marathon.
Yeah, but that's it for me. I appreciate you guys for watching. I will be back at another time today to do a crazy race for Yu Yu Hakusho with DBK and once again my fellow commentator McNuggets here. More than likely he should be there with us, but yeah, it's a very, very difficult game. It's very fun to watch. fights can go either way in that game, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So be sure to stay tuned in and catch the upcoming runs leading up to the race as well. But yeah,
It's going to be a nail biter.
Absolutely. Take care, guys. Have a great one.